Hey, I'm Deontay Jenkins, and here's what's on my mind. What makes a good action sequence? There's a number of things. There's the choreography, there's the stunts, there's this. But what are the basic elements to creating a good action sequence on screen? Well, the first thing should always be making sure that the audience can comprehend the action that's going on. Making sure that they can follow what's happening on screen. And that comes from the way that the action flows. For instance, this scene from Mission Impossible Fallout. Every cut, every movement is logical, meaning it's the logical next step for what preceded it. There's a kick, and we see the results of the kick. Lark picks up the computer to swing, and we cut to what logically happens after. Every action flows into something else, and every cut is supported by the action that's going on. We've all seen those bad action scenes where you just jump from moment to moment without giving the audience an opportunity to digest what just happened. It's action and reaction. Every hit has a reaction. Every camera movement moves into what logically would happen next. But what if you don't want to move the camera? Jackie Chan once said,
like an American movie, you can see there's a lot of movement. When the camera angle movement, that means the actor, they don't know how to fight.
And in that vein, a logical way to help the audience comprehend what's going on is to show them. No excessive cuts, no unnecessary camera movement, but just show them. In Kill Bill, Quentin Tarantino stays pretty wide the entire time, showing you every swing of the sword and every move that these women make. The cuts in this scene help you see the action better rather than manipulating you into thinking that the action is more intense than it actually is. Rather than cutting on every hit, we see the actors and stunt women fighting it out actually on screen before our eyes. Subconsciously, it adds a little something extra for us to see everything that's actually happening, rather than have shaky cam or camera movement or excessive cutting to heighten the action. This action is far more dramatic than the action that we saw in Mission Impossible. That isn't to say that you can't be clear with a handheld camera. In John Wick, they have a handheld camera and they stay far away at times. So we get the heightened nature of the shaky camera still flowing from one moment to the next, but we get the clarity of staying a little further back from the action with some of these wider shots. But there's an extra layer needed to make things feel a little bit more realistic. And that thing is pain. In Mission Impossible, Chris McQuarrie takes the time to show you the results of the blows that are being landed. So you see someone getting hit, then you see them react to the pain. Sometimes it's a quick reaction, and sometimes the reaction lasts a bit longer. But we're seeing the pain that these characters are in. Fighting hurts. If you've never been in a fight, then know, even if you're winning the fight, it hurts. So showing us the pain that these characters are in gives it a bit more gravity, a bit more depth, makes it feel more realistic for the audience. You get hit, it hurts. And sometimes you need to pause and show that it hurts. In Kill Bill, the action comes to a complete halt when the bride and Oren Ishii get hurt, heightening the severity of the injury that was caused to them. The action is in no rush to get started again. It gives the audience a moment to feel the pain along with the characters. And it adds drama to the scene, reminding us that the stakes are high and these two could die from this fight. These swords aren't just being swung for the hell of it. There are consequences to each action that these two are taking. And we see that in the pain that they're causing each other. There are 2 moments of it, but they add more depth than if there were 10 quick moments of pain. Throughout the film, we see that the bride is basically invincible. So moments like these are necessary to make it feel more realistic. In this film, we don't want our protagonist to feel like she's invincible. But what if you do? What if the whole point of your protagonist is how invincible and how amazing he is at his job? In John Wick, they don't show pain. They don't take moments to pause or to wince or to catch their breath or anything like that. The action is constant, it keeps going. So, how do they show pain? Well, they don't. They let you hear the pain. Sounds like this. That subconsciously tells the audience that it hurts what they're doing to each other, but they're so good at their jobs that they can power through. When you're dealing with a super assassin like John Wick, you don't want him to seem weak, but you also want him to seem realistic. So putting the sounds of pain in the audience's head rather than showing us the actual pain that the characters are in makes it feel just as real as the other two. Pain is necessary in an action scene, but what is the result of pain? Typically, it's a shift in power dynamic. Most of the time in action, you don't want to see it be one-sided. You want to see struggle, you want to see power dynamics shifting, and it's important to show that. In Mission Impossible, they show that by breaking the 180-degree rule. For those of you who don't know, the 180-degree rule is a cinematography guideline that says that each character should maintain the right or left side of each other, whichever side that they're on, in order to not confuse the audience. So if in one shot they're on the left, in that reverse shot they should be also on the left. But through the flow of action, in order to show the shifting power dynamic in this Mission Impossible scene, we break that rule. So each time a character gains the upper hand, we see that rule broken. It's an interesting way of visually telling the audience who's winning the fight. In Kill Bill, they go back and forth for a while. But when the power dynamic actually shifts, they switch to close-ups instead of the wider shots that they were using to show the action. And yes, it follows the pain. Watch, you get the pain, plus the close-up, plus showing who's winning the fight. And again, pain plus close-up, plus showing who's winning the fight. But sometimes the director doesn't want to feel so manipulative and heavy-handed. So you can do something like how they do in John Wick. It's shown by who is standing up taller. Literally by who is the higher person in the frame. When John is dominating the fight, he's higher than Cassian. When Cassian is dominating the fight, he's higher than John. You see this shift in power dynamics throughout the entire fight. Action is both complex and simple. Here I've shown you 3 great examples of action sequences that all use different methods to get the same result, which is a great fight. But clarity, pain, and power dynamic shifts are just the basics of an action scene. There's so much more that you can do with it, and there's so much more to each of these scenes. But watching this action flow into the pain and the pain flow into a shift in power dynamic is the foundation to any good action scene. Understanding these things is understanding action, and understanding action leaves an audience happy. But then again, what do I know? Thanks again for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You can follow me here on social media if you haven't already. If you have anything that you want me to do a video on, or anything you just want to discuss, leave a comment down below. You can check out my latest short film here. Share this video with a friend if you thought it was cool. And make sure you come back next time, because I want to see you again. Once again, I am Deontay Jenkins, and I will see you next time. Peace.